At this point, who cares? You know, who cares? They clearly don't care about ratings. They clearly don't care about making a good show. They clearly don't care about making a product that allows people to escape for 45 minutes. Instead, they just want to push agendas, push messages, and keep pandering. So, you know what? Let them. Doctor Who, the ratings for the show are the lowest they've ever been. No one cares about it. So, if they want to do it, let them. Let them. Let's kill Doctor Who faster. But Russell T Davies demands more race and gender swaps from Doctor Who, saying he'd cast Viola Davis as the Master because, you know, Michelle Gomez as the, Missy or the Master wasn't good enough. Nope, got to make her black now too. And before the typical dipshits come out and say, "Oh, you're a phobe-ism," or "You hate women," no, I love Missy. Michelle Gomez as the Master, one of the coolest characters. The reveal, like, we already knew it was pretty much who it was before they actually did the reveal. But the little thing of, the doctor saying, "Who are you?" And she's like, "You know who I am. I'm Missy." And he's like, "Who's Missy?" She's like, "Try to keep up. Short for mistress." Well, couldn't keep calling myself, where it's like, well, I couldn't very well keep calling myself the Master. Now, could I? And then the doctor's face when he realizes who it is, and it was so good. And she had such a great story development from being this chaotic sort of individual to finally deciding to stand with the doctor, and she died. And the doctor never knew that she was basically on her way to stand by his side. With no audience, no reward. She decided to make the right choice. She decided to show kindness. She decided to be kind. So, I love Michelle Gomez as the Master. I loved Missy. She was an amazing character. So I have nothing against women. I have nothing against female characters, obviously. But when you people constantly just like, "Oh, we're gonna make this character this just for this specific reason," people are getting tired of it. And clearly, people are tired of Doctor Who since it's at low. The ratings are the lowest it's ever been. 60 years of history, and it's all being destroyed because people care more about pandering and identity politics than telling a good story now. Because back in the day, Russell T Davies could have a message and a good story. That's the thing. Now it's just in your face bullcrap. Every 5 seconds being reminded, racism's bad, white people bad, women are strong and empowered. Back in the day, we knew that through actions that the female companions would make. But they can't do subtlety anymore because they think that their audience is fucking stupid. And unfortunately, a lot of them are. Doctor Who's returning for a second season with the gay Black Kuti Gatwa as the Doctor in just a few days. And Russell T Davies has revealed he wants to race and sex swap the Master, even though she's already been gender swapped and people loved her. People loved her. Okay, so before we keep reading, this is the scene. This is the scene that shows who Missy is, and it's so good. And that look of, yeah, I'm back. Such a great scene. Such a great scene. Peter Capaldi, the look of fear, but also a little bit of almost happiness to see that his friend is back, but terror. And also goes to show how awesome Peter Capaldi is. But Michelle Gomez, when she was on screen, she stole the scene every single time. And that's just also thanks to her talent as being an amazing actress. When she was doing Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, as she was playing Lilith, same thing. Every time she was on screen, she had, even if she wasn't really doing anything, she was just talking, she had such a way of talking and just like this, some of it just like this deadpan humor. She's charming. I have nothing against women. I have nothing against female roles, obviously. But again, some people are just stupid. And like, oh, we're gonna make these characters gay or black or this just for the sake of making them gay or black. And you wonder why Doctor Who is at its lowest in 60 years. Um, Aside from the obvious turning of the Doctor into a black gay man, his 60th anniversary specials with David Tennant, brief return, featured a character, Rose, who was a black transgender. Actually, it was a transgender female. Donna Noble lectured the Doctor about being a male presenting Time Lord. Yeah, like the Doctor, who had just been a female, Jodie Whittaker, was sitting there being lectured by a man pretending to be a woman. The entire episode consisted of, oh, sometimes I feel like an alien myself. Oh, my beautiful daughter. And being lectured about pronouns and gender identity. And again, the Doctor was just female. And they're sitting there telling him that he's male presenting and he doesn't know the struggles of a woman. Bitch, shut the fuck up. On top of this, Davies brought in an Indian actor to play the historical figure Sir Isaac Newton in an insult to British audiences. The entire episode, Bubble and Dot, was meant to be a critique of white culture, with Gatwa crying as the white people involved were too racist to accept his help at the end of the show, leaving a sullying political mark on what was once the better episodes of the first season up until that point. It was announced that Varada Sethu would be replacing Millie Gibson as a companion for season 2, another Indian swap for white within the show, which, whatever. I mean, companions have always been diverse, so who fucking cares about the companion? Speaking of diverse, did you know that Bill Potts, not just being black, but she was gay? I know! For those of you who didn't know, Bill Potts was gay. Sethu also had stated that she wouldn't be like a traditional companion, a person being rescued by the Doctor, but would be more of a partnership on equal footing. Sarah Jane Smith. Susan. You have all these other amazing female companions, and this fucking bitch comes in like, oh yeah, we're gonna do something that's never been done before. We're gonna have a female companion who's on equal footing with the Doctor. All of his companions are on equal footing. They all don't take his crap. They all hold him accountable. They all challenge him. They all have a point where they have to rescue him or have to do things without him. River Song. So they think that they're breaking barriers here. Apparently they've never seen the show up until this freaking point. The show's ratings have been poor as a result of all these changes, with audiences tuning out because Davies and his cronies flirted with obvious anti-white and anti-British culture. Season 1 has some of the lowest rated Doctor Who episodes of all time, and the latest Christmas special had the lowest rating of any Christmas special to date. Rumors have been swirling that before season 2 is released, they're going to be canceling the show, but Russell T Davies is already speculating of further race and gender swaps he can do in the future, starting with the Master. I mean, we already had, the last Master, who's like, I think Indian or whatever. I mean, the character itself, like, the actor himself was fine, but the character of the Master it was poorly written. And that's why we didn't get to enjoy it as much. Not to mention him acting with Jodie Whittaker. He might as well have just been standing in front of a green screen talking to himself, because that's what it felt like most of the time. He told Games Radar that he'd be interested in having who he'd be interested in having on the show. I simply worship Viola Davis. She's a strong black female. Now, one of the greatest actors in the world. We should be we should be so lucky we should have the money. She just brings quality, depth, and surprise. Every time I see her, she does something surprising, which is a very Doctor Who quality. Yeah. Yeah, the stuff is really, really surprising these days. Tuning in just to be lectured for 45 minutes. Oh yeah, really surprising, really bold, stunning and brave. I see this hoping that you print it. Then her agent will read it and say, "Yeah, yes, you can have Viola and for absolutely no money." And he verified he wanted her as the master. I think she'd probably be the next master. You're not going to waste Viola Davis being nice in the corner. You're going to have her standing there saying, "Doctor, you are dead. Please make it happen. We have put that into the universe." The master is Titania. We know that we know. Um, yeah, for the longest time, the master was a white guy, and then it was Missy, who amazing character. I love Missy. I love the character of Missy. Again, seeing her go from this crazed version of the master to kind of slowly, kind of realizing that the doctor is just genuinely trying to help, and that he does genuinely just want her to see that what she's doing is just not the right thing. That it's just, about being kind. And then you have the talk that he was giving the master and Missy about being kind. And while John Sims' master, he did kind of hear when the doctor said, you're gonna die too, someday, and have you thought about that? What's that gonna be like? What would you die for? You could see him looking down and him genuinely thinking. But then the master, being who he is, he's like, take a good, see this face, take a good long look at it. This is a face that didn't listen to a word you just said. While Missy is actually taking it in, the master rather just be himself and act as if he doesn't care. And then at the end, later on in the episode, towards the end, the Missy, the master, no, Missy decides that, what, it's time to stand with the doctor instead of standing against him and trying to fight him all this time. So she's ready to go back and stand by his side, and the master zaps her, and that's kind of the end of Missy. And no audience, no reward. She did what was right because she genuinely wanted to. She was just being kind. So to see her go from the master, this crazed master, to this character who was understanding what it meant to just be kind, and to, that whole idea of with no reward, no audience, no one around to see your good deeds, you just do it because you want to. She finally understood it at the end. So she has probably one of the greatest character developments. But and then they go and ruin it with the next doctor, who it's like, what are his plans? We don't know. We don't know. He's like the jailer of Doctor Who. He just kind of shows up, acts crazy for a few minutes, says some stupid crap, and he wants to fuse the Cybermen with freaking Time Lord technology, or the Time Lord regeneration powers, and but he's like, oh, everything's a lie, everything they've told you is a lie, and blah blah blah, and house divided cannot stand, or cosmos divided, or whatever. What did Zoval say? Cosmos divided cannot stand, or cannot, something, I can't remember. His plans were so stupid and vague, no one really cares. I just say a house divided cannot stand because that's what it sounded like. A cosmos divided, a house cannot stand. But yeah, they're just doing it to do it now, to stick it to the chuds, all the while 60 years of history are just being flushed down the shitter because they care more about identity politics and forcing it rather than just writing these stories with messages and making them just genuinely good stories. So, you know what? Fuck Doctor Who. If it goes on a hiatus for 10, 20 years, who cares? Who cares? I don't think anyone cares at this point. It's gone from Doctor Who to Doctor Who fucking cares. Lowest ratings in 60 years. There's a reason for that. People are tired of being preached to. Russell T. Davies, who was once able to write stories with messages, with progressive messages, has now just foregone all of that and just like, oh, I'm just going to force the messages. I'm not going to make the stories fun or interesting. I'm just going to preach to you for 45 fucking minutes. And people are tired of it. So, fuck the BBC, fuck Doctor Who. If it goes on a hiatus or just doesn't come back at all, whatever. We've got old, classic Doctor Who. We've got new Who. We have more than enough Doctor Who products and media to consume. So who cares? Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.